Hey there, it's Denise from LoomaHat.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make some super fun jumbo scrunchies. And you can use some of your leftover scrap yarn to make stripes, 2 colors, or just one solid color. And for a list of supplies, more information, be sure to visit the website at LoomaHat.com/scrunchies. Alright, we're going to begin doing a drawstring cast on. So I'm going to be using a single strand of worsted weight yarn. I'm going to secure it to the anchor peg with a simple knot. You can use a slip knot if that's more comfortable for you, and then take that strand of yarn behind peg 1, bring it back forward, and you're going to lay it over peg 2, go behind peg 3 and bring it back forward. And so you're going to continue to do this zigzag motion until you are back at the front of the yarn, at the front of the loom, and you're going to take the working yarn again behind peg 1 and now lay it loosely over peg 2 and a few more pegs. And then you're going to hold tight to that, get your hook, and you're going to knit off the loop from the bottom over the top. And you're going to do this for every peg that has 2 loops. And I want you to notice that that's actually every other peg that you're knitting. So you continue to knit every peg with 2 loops. When you get back to the front of the loom, you're going to notice that peg 1 does not have 2 loops. And so this time you're not going to knit it. Once you're done with the cast on, you're then ready for rows 1 through 3, where you will knit 24 pegs, with the exception of this very first row where you will skip peg 1, lay your yarn on peg 2, and knit off. And I'm using the U-wrap, where I half wrap and knit off. If you prefer to use the flat stitch, just lay your yarn over a few of your pegs and then knit off. That flat version of the knit stitch is going to give you a tighter stitch. Personally, I'm going to continue to use the U-wrap because I'm more fond of it. I just find it easier. Again, you half wrap and knit off, and you're going to continue to knit all of your pegs. Remember that you only skipped that first peg for this very first row, but you're not going to do that ever again. You are going to knit all 24 pegs. So when you finish with this, which is row 1, you just continue knitting because you need 3 rows. So that's the first part of this, is a 5-row repeat. First 3 rows are 3 rows of knit stitches, and you're going to knit all 24 pegs. After you're done with your 3 rows, you're ready for rows 4 through 5, where you're going to do a knit 1, purl 1, also known as a rib stitch. But before we do that, you need to take the knot off the anchor peg. If you don't do that, your project can get really funky. All right, now we're ready to go on. And on peg 1, we start with that knit stitch. I'm going to use my favorite U-wrap knit stitch. You can use the one of your choice, preferably not an E-wrap. And then take the working yarn and place it beneath the existing loop with your hook. Scoop up that working yarn to create a new loop like this. And then you're going to take the old loop off the peg, put the new one on the peg, and pull the working yarn to tighten that stitch. That was your purl, and now you're going to continue with that knit 1, purl 1 pattern, right? Which, like I said, is also known as a rib stitch. So again, you're going to knit 1 and then purl 1 and keep going. You need 2 rows of the knit 1, purl 1, right? So keep knitting, knit 1, purl 1. And a very special thank you to Carol from Promise Learning ATL, Clarissa Hands, and Penny Pitchard for covering the cost of closed captioning. Okay, now you know rows 1 through 5, so you're going to decide if you're just going to do a solid color scrunchie. All you need to do is knit rows 1 through 5 20 more times for a total of 105 rows. However, if you decide to do this multicolor one, then you're going to need 15 rows per color. In other words, you're going to do 3 repeats of rows 1 through 5. Now here is another thing I want you to keep in mind. If you want to avoid dashes, then when you go to change color, that first row, you're going to use the original color instead of the new one, right? For that first 5 row repeat. Like right here, I'm going to change the color to orange, but before I do that, my very first row, I'm going to knit in the old color, which for me is yellow. So I'm doing 1 row of 24 pegs of the knit stitch in my old color. Then I'm going to change to the new color. So I cut the yarn with the old color, I bring in the new one, and I'm going to wrap that strand of the old color with the new color and make a simple knot. And just for security purposes, I'm going to go ahead and make a second one. You can use whatever color changing method works best for you. And then I'm going to continue now with that 5 row repeat until I have 15 stitches. I'm sorry, 15 rows. Then I'll repeat this process for up to 7 colors. And once I'm done, I'm ready for the cast off. I'm going to be using the drawstring cast off. So take the working yarn and you're going to wrap it around the loom at least 1 full time and a little bit extra. Get your scissors, cut the working yarn, and then you can get your hook, or if you like, you can get a needle. If you're getting your hook, then from the top, scoop up the working yarn and feed it through the loop. You're going to do this with all of your pegs. If you're using a needle, then thread the needle with the working yarn and come in from the bottom of the loop up. And just like the hook, you just need to feed that working yarn through all of your pegs. So all 24. If you leave one out, it's not going to be cool. So make sure you cover every peg, every loop, and then with your hook, take the loops off all of your pegs, all 24. Once you've done that, once you've gotten all these loops off the peg, then your fabric will be free of the loom. And next, it will be time for you to stretch your stitches. This is very important. I say this every time. The fabric will look very different if you don't stretch your stitches. And once you've done that, then you can start pulling on those drawstrings. The cast on, cast off, doesn't matter, either one. All you're going to decide is which color is going to be over which one, right? So you pull on those 2 strings and it will start to neaten up your edges and close in your tube. You don't need to close it 100%, right? You just need to tighten it up. And the one that's going to show up on the top is the one that you need the most to be neat. And then get your stretchy cord, and you're going to need at least 6.5 inches. So here's my measuring tape. I need it in inches, so I'm going to the back, and I will be putting these measuring tapes in my store shortly. When I do, I'll put a link in the description. And again, I'm going to be using 6.5 inches on this stretchy cord. You can use 7 or you can use more depending on how many times you're going to want to wrap this around your ponytail. All right, then just cut it to size. And personally, I'm going to take a pin to connect the 2 ends together when I'm ready to sew. But for right now, this is going to help me feed the cord through the tube. Just start kind of wrinkling the tube to get it to the other side, to get the cord through the other side. And then what I'm going to do is take both sides and connect them using the safety pin. And again, this is my method. You have to figure out what works good for you. I like to put it right in the middle, and it kind of like keeps everything together as I sew the two parts. And I'm using a heavy duty coat thread, and you can get it on Amazon. I'll do some research and see if I can give you a link in the description, but it's better to get something that's heavy duty, and I prefer to overdo it than for these two parts to come apart. So that's why I overlap them, because sometimes you know, string can break or whatever, and just overdo it. It's better. So I do go kind of sew in a square and then come through the middle. And you see that I'm securing the edges because I really don't want this flat band to move. And so that's why I do the edges, and then I come back and I sew through the middle to just make sure everything stays good. So once you've done that, then you can cut the thread and you're good. The inside part has been sewn together and you're done. Now figure out which one goes inside which. In this case, I'm going to put the green one inside the yellow. So I cut the extra cord and I overlap the yellow over the green and get everything shaped correctly, and pull on the string just a little to tighten everything up. And because this is the edge that's going to show, so you want to make sure that it looks nice and neat. Pull on the drawstring until it looks the way you want it, until it has a nice clean edge, because again, that's the part that's going to show. And then you need to get a needle and thread your needle. I'm using metal. You can use plastic or whatever you have. This is not a rough project, so any needle is going to work fine. And then I believe this is called a whip stitch, and I could be wrong. Sewing is not my thing, so I don't know the terms perfectly. But basically, I'm sewing the edge onto the top in order to close the circle. All right. And as you can see, easy to do, right? Just make sure that you go completely around. Don't try to rush this. Sew it correctly so it doesn't come apart and all your work is gone. When you're done sewing, just take whatever's left. You can make a knot if you want to, and then just push the working yarn as far up as you can and cut the little bit off right there, and then just hide the rest in it. Now shape it as you want it, and you're done. Comment, like, subscribe, and most importantly, share the video if you really like it.